Welcome to the CompTIA A+, 220, 1101, or Core 1 exam. This is Objective 3.7, Inkjet printers. If you have a printer at home, it's probably an inkjet printer or what some people call an ink dispersion printer. Inkjet printers are relatively inexpensive, which make them perfect for a printer that you might use occasionally at home. Inkjet printers are also relatively quiet compared to other types of printers, and they do provide color and high resolution output. Unfortunately, replacing the ink cartridges in the printer are relatively expensive, and the cartridges themselves are proprietary and only available from the printer manufacturer. Another downside of this type of ink that's used in an inkjet printer is that it tends to fade rapidly over time. So this would not be an output type that you would want to use to archive information for a number of years. This ink also tends to clog very easily, and many inkjet printers have a cleaning cycle that goes through every day to make sure that the print heads themselves don't clog up. Here's a view of the ink cartridges that are inside of an inkjet printer. There are drops of ink that are pulled from each of these cartridges to make the final output on the printed page. The cartridges themselves are different colors. These are often described as CMYK, which would stand for cayenne, magenta, yellow, and lastly the key color, or in this case, black. Some of those ink cartridges are not just there to contain ink, but if you were to look at them at the bottom of the ink cartridge, they are also incorporated into an integrated print head. This allows you to change the cartridge and get new ink at the same time, replace and get a brand new print head every time. And in some models of inkjet printers, you'll find that the print head and the print ink itself are on two different components within the same printer. These are the print heads that integrate both the ink inside of the ink cartridge with the print head that's on the bottom of the cartridge itself. Many inkjet printers will have a paper tray or a place to put paper on the front of the printer, and that paper is pulled through the printer with the feed rollers. You can see feed rollers right in the front of this printer. These rollers will need to be cleaned and maintained so that the paper will easily be pulled through the printer. Here's a closer view of these feed rollers. Take a look at this one from a home printer. It's a bit smaller, just the roller right here. That's enough to move a small stack of papers. Another useful feature that's available on many different kinds of printers is a duplexer. With duplexing, the printer can print on both sides of the page without doing any type of intervention during the print process. There is usually some type of mechanism within the printer that allows it to flip the page over and send it back through the printing process. These ink cartridges are used in place in a carriage that's connected with the belt and pulls the entire carriage back and forth. Let's take a look at that. You can see the carriage on the right side, and there's a brown belt that's used to be able to pull the carriage back and forth across the paper. With 4 separate print heads, it's very possible to have an output where those colors are not perfectly aligned. To be able to properly align all those different colors, you may want to perform an inkjet printer calibration. This will create an output page. Here is a calibration page. You can see that there are all kinds of ways to test the different colors and the fades. These are calibration outputs that you can use to make changes if you need to on the printer settings themselves. We can adjust the levels of CMYK, or the different colors that we mentioned earlier. And we are at the end of the objective. Here's a pop quiz. Why would you choose inkjet instead of laser printing? A. Easy maintenance. B. It has superior toner. C. It is more common in offices. Or D. It's cheaper for low volume printing. And the answer was D. It's cheaper for low volume printing. If you're just printing a little bit at home and you don't need anything fancy, that would be the easier route overall. And I'll explain why the other answers are not good choices. It's not that easy to maintenance ink that gets messy and clogs. Okay, B, toner, it actually doesn't use toner. There's no toner in it. That's a trick question. It uses inkjet. Okay, is more common in offices. Really depends on what office you are in, but for a larger office or mid-size, you're going to see much larger MFD multifunction devices, and those will be laser. Thank you for watching.